Hey there guys, and welcome to the Sunday Shred Show. This week I'm staying indoors because, as you can see, it's not a very nice day out there. So this week I'm going to be talking about my camera equipment, which is just in the living room there, and talking about how I managed to resolve the audio problem with the GoPro Hero 5 and Karma Grip. I'm making this video because a few guys have requested it, so I hope you enjoy it. Okay guys, so what you see here is pretty much all of my camera equipment that I use. There's a few cables and bits and pieces that aren't here, and I've got a few spare bits and pieces, but this is basically it. If I start with a box, this is a recommendation from Brian from BKXC. This is the Cam Kicks sort of extra large carrying case where you take the little inserts out, you get these inserts in there and you take them out and you customize your own box to suit exactly what you need. So at the minute I'm storing my GoPro Hero 5. I've got my old school, super old school, I think it's the original GoPro Hero, which it still does 1080p at 30 frames per second, so I've still got that just in case I do shots off the back of the bike or anything. The other thing I've got here is my Zoom H1 external audio device. This is my two battery chargers, double battery charger for the GoPro Hero 5 batteries. I use this to carry my spare battery when I'm out on the bike. Yeah, this is my Garmin, which I keep in there, which is obviously nothing to do with recording. This is my GoPro Karma Grip, obviously, with the little mount for the chesty. This is my ExoLens iPhone 6. It's basically so as I can get a wide angle lens. So the external shot that you saw the other day on, I can't remember which ride it was, it said external footage was the name of the ride. I use this, so this slots over the front of the iPhone. The lens lines up with the lens on this, and then this here is basically a wide angle lens. So I take all my wide angle shots with that one there. So that's another nifty little piece of kit that I got from ExoLens. This here is my Rode microphone. It's a lavalier microphone which I use with my Zoom H1. So I'll go into more details on this and the setup in a minute. But I've obviously got a wind cover there. It's got a little kind of lapel clip thing there, which I clip onto the shoulder strap of my bag. And then what comes out with this specific microphone is just a different type. It's a similar size, but it's got the 3 bands instead of the 2, so you have to have an adapter so as it suits the Zoom H1. And then this is just an extra. This is just the case that I use. So this is the mount for this is my tripod mount for my GoPro. So I keep hold of that. I've got a bit of spare memory there. So that's basically everything that I carry. So I'll go into a bit more detail. The main thing that people wanted to cover today was how I fixed the audio on my GoPro Hero 5, and the short version is I didn't. The GoPro Hero 5 audio, basically, inside this container here, apparently it's meant to be quite bad. The best case scenario for audio with this camera is with that door still on and out of its housing like this, so using it kind of just like a vlogging camera or whatever you're using it for. That's the best case scenario for the audio. Basically, when you do this, that little door opens and it exposes the two ports there. You pull that door off, and as soon as you take that door off, the audio goes really bad. I'm not 100% sure why, but it's quite well documented that that's when it goes bad. You've got a microphone there, and I think it's a microphone in there. And at that point, the audio is pretty much unusable. With the Karma Grip, all as you do is you press that little clip there, and then quite carefully you've got to line up obviously these with these and just kind of slide it in there nice and gently. It's just getting it to line up. It's dead easy, and that's it in there. So what I'll do is I'll switch the camera on And keep in mind, this isn't an equipment review. I'll mention a few things. I'll mention a few bits and pieces, but this isn't. I'm not doing a review of any specific piece of equipment. I'll just mention a few pros and cons with them as I go through. This is just so as you can see my actual setup. So there's no SD card in there, so I'll just chuck an SD card in there a moment. Right, so I do start up here with an SD card in it. What you can see here is all the buttons. I saw in another review that a guy wasn't very happy that the buttons aren't raised, so you can't actually feel where they are, which I can understand what he's saying, but I mean, I just stuck a little bit of tape over the button that switches the recording button. That basically, when you press that, will switch it on, default to your video mode, and start recording, so it doesn't really bother me too much. So if I start it up, you might see the issue that you get with these with this setup sometimes. So that's it's going to work this time. So it says USB connected. It comes up. That's 1 hour and 4 minutes from a 32 gig memory card, and it started recording. So what I'll do is I'll switch over to the GoPro Hero 5 camera now, and you'll get a bit of the sound. I mean, there's no wind in here, so you shouldn't get too much interference, and I'm obviously not doing much with the gimbal, so you can't really hear the motor noise, but the sound should be quite a bit worse anyway. So yeah, that's the GoPro Hero 5 in the Karma grip. Stabilization wise, it's brilliant. Yeah, it's awesome. I've just recently recalibrated it, which takes a couple of minutes, so I hope not to have the same issues as I had the other day again for a while. I think what it was is I had this too close and I was rubbing against that, which was giving me the problems that I had. It just throws it all out of sync. So we'll switch that off again. What can happen sometimes with this is you press that button and the grip will switch on, but the camera won't switch on. The grip will switch on, the camera will switch on, but it won't start recording, and it's just a nuisance, because if you get used to it that this is working and you press the button without looking to check that the GoPro is recording, sometimes you can start riding and it's not working. So that's the GoPro. And then obviously the thing that people are asking about the most is how I fix the sound. So what I'll do is I'll take this off. This is the Zoom H1. It's a really, really, really lightweight audio recorder. You can obviously use it. You can get a wind muffler there and use it like a microphone. But I use it with the lavalier mic. I've got a bit of tape stuck over it. I'll show you. I'll take it off and show you why. Obviously you've got the settings on the camera there. You should be able to see that okay. So low cut I have to on, auto level I have off, and recording format I have to WAV file, which is a larger file, but it's much better. And the reason I had the tape over there was because you've got a line out port there and you've got a line in port there. So obviously the line in is what you want to put your external microphone into. So I've basically used a piece of tape just to tape over the other one, because on my wheelies video, I think it was number 4, I had it plugged into the wrong port, and obviously my microphone was just trying to be like a set of headphones. So I put a bit of tape over and then cover up the settings on the back as well, because you can flick those shoving it in and out of your pocket all the time. So that's what I've done with that. I'll put the links to everything that's in there. This is a Rode lavalier mic, and it wasn't cheap. It was about 50 quid for the microphone. But I'll put links to them all in the description below. So what I do is, obviously that's line out. I put it like that. I put the connection just next to it like that, and I'll take a load of wraps around it. And then after a load of wraps, that's just ready to go in my pocket then. I've got a nice length of wire, not too long, and that just goes into the pocket on my Osprey Raptor. I'll show you that in a second. So yeah, like I say, I won't go into too much detail on the individual bits and pieces, what I use. If you want to see any particular reviews on the Hero 5, the Karma grip, the Zoom H1, anything that you see here, if you want reviews on any of it, just ask in the comments below and I'm happy to do that. Otherwise, what I'll do is I'll put this on now and show you exactly how it is when I'm riding. Okay guys, so the lighting isn't going to be ideal in here, but I hope that comes out alright, and the mirror's got a few scratches on it, so I'm hoping you can see this okay. So this is me rigged up with the GoPro Hero 5. I'll put the bag on in a minute and show you exactly how I fasten it all down. You're hearing audio at the moment through the external recording device, the Zoom H1 with the Rode lavalier mic attached to it. So yeah, the quality is good, as you can hear. I'll switch over to the GoPro Hero 5 now. And obviously this is a lot worse, and this is bearing in mind I've got no motor movement at all at the moment, apart from a little bit there now. And obviously there's no wind noise, there's nothing, but the only good thing that comes from it is that when you record externally, the GoPro sound is good enough to pair up easily with the sound that comes through the external recording device. So I do a clap like the clapperboards in the movies, just to give a sound and a visual tie-in point, so if you have to do it manually. But with my editing software, Adobe Premiere Pro, there is a function in it where before you start editing, you can merge the two clips together, and it will do it automatically, and you can ditch the GoPro Hero 5 sound as you're doing it and use the external recording device as your primary sound. So it is very easy to do, and luckily the GoPro Hero 5 picks up enough that that the software can merge them together easily enough. So yeah, so we're obviously back on the good audio now. I'll switch back just now so as it wasn't too long. And what I'll do is I'll put the bag on now, so as you can see exactly how it all fits together on the bag, and it's not too cumbersome at all, as you'll see. Yeah, just so as you know as well, I've got a GoPro, the actual GoPro make chesty on, but I've cut a hole in my jersey underneath here, so as I can wear my jersey over the chesty, so as I haven't got the chesty, you know, on show. I just like it. It's just a much tidier look. I think Darren Barrelcloth or someone does it, so it's just a real neat look. So yeah, I'll put the bag on now so as you can see. Okay guys, sorry to interrupt there. Just to cut in, and you're going to find this quite funny, I've recorded the whole section that you've just been watching using my external device, but I've had the microphone plugged into the wrong port. After I removed that tape that I showed you, I plugged the thing straight into the wrong port, so the audio that you've got is actually what comes in the end of the external recording device. So this, I'm stood in exactly the same room with the microphone exactly where it is when I'm riding, and you obviously know what the quality is like when I'm riding, but this is the actual quality of how it is when I'm set up, and not what you're hearing in the video at the moment. Okay guys, so that's the bag on. You'll get a bit of audio disturbance now. I actually want to try and show you as best I can me putting the bag on, me putting everything on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn to one side, and sorry for the audio disturbance there. I'm going to turn to one side and turn my GoPro so as you can see. I hope that's clear enough. So yeah, basically what I do is again the audio is going to be bad for a minute, but I wrap my cable around the Zoom H1 so as I get it to the right length. I then, with it this way round, and also it's worth noting that there's a hold button on that, so I put the hold button across, and then I stuff it in this pocket back here. So that goes in there, the zip comes up, and that's obviously nice and secure in there. And then if I go back to a frontward facing view, okay, so then the lavalier mic just clips up here on obviously on the strap of my bag, so it's a nice tidy little thing. Obviously I get it the right length normally, so there's just a tiny little length of cable there so it doesn't get caught. The mic and the external device are both on the bag, neither one thing are attached to me and one to the bag, which means that I can take the bag on and off and it's all still attached to itself. It's no big deal. And then this here is a strap that comes with the GoPro Karma grip, and I use this to fasten, because obviously this can move around still, which is still, it will take it out, but it just rattles around too much, which isn't ideal. So I use this strap, I go around the waist strap of the bag, back through its loop, and then you go around the bag again, pull it nice and tight, and then just strap it down, and I pull that to one side as well. So now, as you can see, I've got kind of a nice stable and tidy as well. Like you can see that it's obviously can't do a 12 now because you won't be able to see anything, but it's all nice and tidy, and I get this great audio with this. And just to be clear, it's not a fix. I don't want to be too clickbaity and say that I fixed the audio, because the Karma Grip audio is crap. There's no other way of putting it. The audio on this thing is just really bad, and it shouldn't be that bad. I think I'd have rather have had perhaps the external, I don't know really, but by making it waterproof, they've obviously made the audio really, really bad, and it's not really good enough for 365 quid or whatever I paid. So this isn't a fix, but this is a workaround. Recording audio externally is a very common practice, you know, with video producers and stuff. That it is a well-known thing. People probably are a bit tentative about it because of the extra equipment and because of the merging the clips together, but as you can see, this is fine, and merging the clips together is an absolute doddle, so I think it's brilliant. So yeah, that's about it. This is how I look when I ride. There's not much else to tell you. I have a water tube that goes across there, but I wrap it around the end and it's magnetic into there. The Osprey bag is brilliant. You know, these little pockets, you know, you can get something else in the other side, but these little pockets are brilliant, perfect for this setup, so it is really great. Like I said earlier on, if you want any individual reviews, this isn't a review on any of the equipment, but if you want any reviews on the kit, like the camera, the Karma grip, the H1, the mic that I use, I'll put the links to them in the description, so as you can go and have a look at them yourself. The bag is great as well. But yeah, so if you want any individual reviews, just let me know, and I'm more than happy. I've been using the GoPro Hero 5 for a good few months now, and the Karma grip and the Zoom H1 for a month or so. I know the equipment quite well. You know, if you want me to go through like a tutorial or just a review, then let me know, that's fine. And that's about it. I also, in the same set of requests for doing a quick run through of my recording equipment, I also got a request to do a bike check, which I am planning to do at around 100 subscribers. I'll do a bike check then, and that should tie in with quite nicely. I'm going to do a separate video about my brakes that overheated recently. I had my brakes completely fail on my bike, and I'm now having a new set of brakes fitted up at the bike shop, or the kit's being ordered. So what I'll do is a bike check after I've done the brake changeover, and I'll also do a video about the brakes that overheated on my bike, because it's not a good thing at all. If it happened to me somewhere else, I might not be standing here right now. It was just out of nowhere, nothing on either brake, so not good. It was overheating. So yeah, that's about it, guys. If you enjoy the video, and I hope this answered the questions for the guys that wanted the video, but if you're enjoying the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button here. I'll put links up to a couple of other videos here, and yeah, that's about it for now, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Come get lost with